Have you ever wondered how ancient wisdom can benefit us in the present? Can we enhance our health and happiness by learning from the past? What if these age-old concepts could immediately improve your life? Let's embark on a journey that delves into the core teachings of Buddhism. These teachings are not mere tales of old. They serve as keys to unlock new ways of attaining well-being and contentment in our fast-paced world. This journey is more than just acquiring knowledge. It's about making tangible changes within ourselves that will positively impact every aspect of our lives. As we delve into each rule, let's approach them with an open mind. Despite their age, these teachings remain highly relevant and offer valuable insights on managing stress, improving health, fostering better relationships, and finding joy in each day. Today, we will discuss 10 special rules. Everyone has something valuable to teach us about living well. They're like puzzle pieces that, when put together, reveal a complete picture of true wellness and happiness. We encourage you to watch the entire video as it's filled with useful insights that can make a significant difference in your life. Each rule we discuss is an essential part of the bigger picture. So if you find our content helpful, please show your support by clicking the like button and subscribing to our Zenful Living channel. By doing so, you not only help us create more videos like this one, but also become part of a community of individuals who aspire to grow and live better lives, just like yourself. Liking and subscribing ensures that you won't miss out on new ways to enhance your health and happiness. So, are you ready to embark on this journey? We promise it will be an interesting adventure filled with practical tips for everyday use. Each rule brings you closer to becoming a healthier and happier version of yourself. Stick around, join us, and let's discover together how these ancient teachings can positively transform our modern lives. Rule 1. Meditation and mind-body harmony. Let's explore something really special, meditation, and how it brings harmony between our mind and body. Think of meditation as a peaceful time for yourself, where you can quiet your thoughts and feel more at ease. It's not just about sitting still. It's an adventure into your own mind, discovering how to be more relaxed and healthy. Meditation acts like a bridge, connecting our busy minds with our busy bodies, helping them work together more effectively. When we meditate, we're giving ourselves the opportunity to slow down and take a breather. It's like pressing the pause button in the midst of a hectic day. Starting meditation can be quite simple. All you need is a quiet spot, comfortable seating, and focus on your breath. It may sound easy, but it's actually a powerful way to calm your mind and bring your attention to the present moment. Buddha, an esteemed teacher from ancient times, spoke extensively about meditation. He believed it was a means to better understand ourselves and the world around us. Through meditation, we can learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them, just like watching clouds drift across the sky. One awesome thing about meditation is how it can improve our physical well-being. People all around the globe turn to meditation to alleviate stress, manage pain, and enhance their sleep quality. It's like a natural remedy that can have a significant impact on our overall feelings. Meditation and science go hand in hand. Researchers have discovered that regular meditation can reduce stress levels, promote better sleep, and even boost our immune system. It's fascinating to witness science finally catching up with what people have long known. Meditation doesn't always require stillness. You can meditate while taking a stroll in the park or engaging in gentle exercises like yoga. These activities help us stay connected with our bodies and the world around us. It's like moving mindfully. Sometimes, meditating with others can be incredibly powerful. Whether you're in a class or with friends, meditating together creates a strong sense of peace and connection. It's like embarking on a journey of calmness and understanding together. Remember, meditation isn't just for your mind. It benefits your entire being. When we meditate, we take care of our minds, bodies, and emotions, bringing balance to our whole selves. Starting to meditate may seem challenging at first. Like any new skill, it requires practice. But don't worry if your mind wanders or you get distracted. It's all part of the process. The important thing is to keep trying and be kind to yourself as you learn. As meditation becomes a part of your life, you'll notice positive changes within yourself, feeling calmer, more focused, and more in tune with who you are. It's a transformative journey that can lead to a happier and healthier version of yourself. So why not give meditation a try? It could be the beginning of an incredible path towards peace and well-being. And remember, as we continue exploring more tips for living better lives, stick around until the end of this video. Rule 2. The power of positive thinking. Let's dive into a really powerful idea: the magic of positive thinking. It's like flipping on a light switch in a dark room. When we think positively, we brighten our lives with hope and happiness. This isn't just about being blindly optimistic. It's about choosing to focus on the good things even when faced with challenges. Positive thinking acts like a magnet. It attracts good energy, good people, and good outcomes into our lives. When we shift our mindset from negative to positive, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. Sangha, a wise friend of mine, once said that positive thinking is like planting seeds in the garden of our minds. These seeds grow into beautiful flowers of joy and gratitude, creating an amazing landscape within us. Our thoughts have an incredible impact on our emotions, behaviors, and overall well-being. Positive thoughts are like gentle breezes that lift us up, while negative thoughts can drag us down. By choosing to embrace positivity, we give ourselves the strength to face life's challenges with resilience and grace. Positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring difficulties. It means approaching them with hope and a mindset focused on finding solutions. It's like seeing a glass as half full rather than half empty. Psychology research supports the idea that having a positive mindset can lead to greater satisfaction in life and improved mental health. It's like a ripple effect. Our thoughts influence our actions, which in turn shape our lives. So how can we incorporate positive thinking into our daily lives? One way is through affirmations, positive statements that we repeat to ourselves. It's like creating a personal mantra that empowers and uplifts us. Another powerful tool is practicing gratitude. Taking just a moment each day to reflect on what we're thankful for is like nurturing the garden of positivity in our minds. This simple act can shift our focus from what we lack to recognizing the abundance in our lives. Thinking positively is like a contagious smile that not only brightens our day, but also uplifts those around us. While we embrace the power of positive thinking, it's important to remember to be kind to ourselves and practice self-compassion. It's okay to acknowledge and learn from negative thoughts without being too hard on ourselves. Positive thinking is a skill that takes time and patience to develop. So, let's start this journey of cultivating positivity one thought at a time. By doing so, we open ourselves up to a world where optimism becomes our guiding force, leading us towards a more fulfilling life. As we continue exploring transformative ideas, stay tuned for the next concept that can enhance your well-being. Rule 3. The practice of self-love and self-care. Now let's talk about a really important concept, the idea of loving and taking care of ourselves. Think of it as giving ourselves a big hug, a way to nurture our inner selves, and let that positive energy shine outward. Self-love is like sunshine. It warms us up and helps us grow into confident and resilient individuals. In the midst of our busy lives, we often forget to be kind to ourselves. But self-love reminds us that we deserve care, compassion, and happiness just as much as anyone else. It's not being selfish, it's actually essential for our overall well-being. Practicing self-love means treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we show to our friends. It's like becoming our own best friend, someone who supports us and lifts us up on this journey called life. Sangha, a kind-hearted guide, once said that loving ourselves is like taking care of the garden in our hearts. By nurturing ourselves, we create an environment where love can grow and thrive. This practice involves setting healthy boundaries, saying no when necessary, and prioritizing activities that make us happy. It's like creating a safe haven within ourselves, a place where we can recharge and reconnect with who we truly are. Self-care is an essential part of self-love. It's the things we do to maintain our physical, emotional, and mental well-being. It's like giving ourselves the fuel to navigate life with energy and purpose. Doing things that bring us joy, whether it's reading a book, going for a leisurely walk, or enjoying a relaxing bath, is like sending ourselves a love note. In a world that always demands our attention, practicing self-care is an act of rebellion. It's declaring that our well-being matters. Research indicates that engaging in self-love and self-care has been proven to reduce stress, increase resilience, and enhance overall health. It's like giving ourselves a daily dose of medicine that helps prevent burnout and nurtures our inner balance. As we embark on the journey of self-love and self-care, let's release any guilt associated with prioritizing our well-being. It's not about indulgence. It's a basic necessity for a balanced and satisfying life. Remember, just as we care for others, we must also care for ourselves. It's not about being perfect, but making progress a continuous effort to honor and uplift the person we spend a lifetime with, ourselves. So let the practice of self-love and self-care become a beautiful melody in the symphony of your life, enriching each day with kindness and energy. Stick around as we uncover more transformative principles that can guide you towards a healthier and happier existence. Rule 4. Building healthy routines and habits. Let's talk about something that can make a big difference in our lives: healthy routines and habits. Picture these routines and habits as the daily steps on a path towards a happier, healthier version of yourself. They're like the small building blocks that create a strong, beautiful house, with the house representing our life. Healthy routines begin with how we structure our day. It's like setting the stage for an amazing performance. When we have a good routine, everything just seems to flow more smoothly. Think of it as a recipe for an awesome day. Some work, some rest, and some fun mixed in. The first step in creating a healthy routine is starting the day off right. This could be something simple like stretching, taking a short walk, or even spending a few moments in quiet reflection. It's like welcoming the day with open arms and setting a positive tone for what lies ahead. Finding a balance between work and rest is super important. It can be tempting to keep pushing ourselves, but we gotta remember that rest is just as crucial. Think of it like a scale. Both work and rest have their place. Adding exercise into our daily routine is key, but it doesn't have to mean spending hours at the gym. It can be as simple as taking a brisk walk, having a dance session in your living room, or doing some yoga stretches. It's like giving your body the gift of movement and strength. Our eating habits also play a big role in our routine. Mindful eating, as we've talked about before, is all about enjoying and appreciating what we eat. It's like adding a touch of mindfulness to every meal and savoring each bite. Sleep is another important pillar of healthy routines. Getting enough restful sleep is like giving your body a nightly tune-up. Good sleep habits can make such a difference in how we feel and function during the day. Time management is an art that helps us maintain a healthy routine. It's all about prioritizing what matters most and finding time for it all. It's like being the conductor of our own lives, making sure every part of our day gets the attention it deserves. Sometimes we all find ourselves falling into unhealthy habits, like staying up too late or indulging in junk food. But breaking these habits is like pulling out weeds in a garden. It takes effort, but the results are worth it. Real-life success stories can be incredibly inspiring and help us stay committed to our healthy routines. Hearing about others who have made positive changes can give us the motivation to keep going. It's like looking at a map of someone else's journey and knowing that we can follow in their footsteps. It's also important to adjust our routines as our lives change, because life is always evolving, just like adjusting your sails when the wind shifts direction. By embracing these healthy routines and habits, we are setting ourselves up for a life of well-being and satisfaction. It may not always be easy, but the rewards are definitely worth it. These daily practices are the stepping stones towards a more fulfilling and vibrant life. And remember, stick with us till the end of this video for a complete understanding as we continue exploring these transformative rules. Rule 5. Embracing nature for healing. Let's explore a place that's both stunning and empowering. Embracing nature for its healing powers. Imagine nature as a gentle and wise companion that uplifts us, both mentally and physically. Simply being in nature can be like a soothing remedy for our busy minds and exhausted bodies. Nature has a unique way of healing us. It feels like entering an alternate world where the air is fresher, the colors are more vibrant, and the sounds are calming. Just being outdoors under the open sky, surrounded by trees or near water, can help us feel more at ease and tranquil. Buddhist teachings have always stressed the importance of being in sync with nature. It's like recognizing that we're part of something much greater and finding solace in that connection. When we're in nature, we're not just visitors. We become one with the natural world. The benefits of spending time in nature are incredible. Scientists have discovered that being in nature can reduce stress, improve mood, and even strengthen our immune system. It's like nature acts as a natural remedy that makes us feel better in so many ways. There are plenty of simple ways to connect with nature, such as taking a stroll in the park, going for a hike in the woods, or simply sitting in a garden. Each of these activities brings us closer to the healing power of nature. It's like finding little pockets of tranquility amidst our busy lives. Nature also plays a significant role in our mental well-being. Being surrounded by natural environments can help clear our minds and provide fresh perspectives on issues that trouble us. It's like nature helps us reset our thoughts and start anew. The unique stories of healing through nature demonstrate its profound impact. People often describe feeling renewed and gaining clarity after spending time immersed in nature. These stories aren't just anecdotes. They're real experiences that illustrate the transformative power of nature's healing abilities. Practicing mindfulness in natural settings takes healing to another level. When we're mindful in nature, we're fully present in the moment, enjoying all the sights, sounds, and smells. It's like tuning into nature's frequency, which can be incredibly calming and rejuvenating. Being eco-friendly isn't just good for the planet, it's good for us too. When we take care of nature, we're also taking care of ourselves. It's like a circle of care that benefits us, nature, and future generations. Overcoming the lack of nature in our modern lives is crucial. Many of us live in cities where finding nature can be challenging, but even small connections like caring for a houseplant or visiting a local park can make a big difference. It's about finding little ways to keep nature in our lives. Community initiatives for nature conservation are important because they not only help take care of natural spaces, but also build a sense of community and shared purpose when people come together. It feels like we're all working together to create a healthier world for everyone. Embracing nature for healing goes beyond just spending time outdoors. It's about acknowledging and respecting our strong connection with the natural world. It's a bond that nurtures us, both physically and spiritually, and reminds us of the beauty and awe that surrounds us. And as we continue to explore these life-changing principles, stick around till the end of this video for a full understanding. If you find these insights useful, don't forget to like and subscribe to our Zenful Living channel. Your involvement helps us keep sharing this journey with you and others who are searching for healing and happiness. Rule 6. Simplifying for wellness. Let's dive into something that has the power to truly change our lives. Simplifying for wellness. Picture your life as a messy room. When it's filled with clutter, it becomes difficult to find what you need or move around comfortably. Simplifying is like decluttering this room, creating space for you to breathe, move, and live more freely. Simplifying for wellness starts with understanding what truly matters in our lives. It's about identifying what brings us happiness and health and letting go of the rest. And this doesn't just apply to physical possessions. It also includes our commitments, time, and thoughts. The concept of simplifying is deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings. It's about finding contentment with less and realizing that true happiness doesn't come from having an abundance of things. It's like learning to appreciate the beauty of simplicity. Living a simplified life can have a huge impact on our mental and physical well-being. When we have less clutter in our lives, we feel less stressed and more at peace. It's like a weight being lifted off our shoulders, allowing us to find joy in the little things. One way to simplify is by decluttering our spaces, keeping only what we truly use or love. This creates a peaceful sanctuary where we can relax and feel at ease. Another aspect of simplifying is being mindful of how we spend our time, choosing activities that bring value to our lives, and saying no to things that don't. By doing this, we can dedicate more time to doing things that make us happy and keep us healthy. Simplifying also involves being mindful of our thoughts, letting go of worries and negative thinking patterns that don't serve us well. It's like clearing the clutter from our minds to make space for positive and peaceful thoughts. But simplifying isn't always easy. It can be tough to let go of things or say no to commitments. It's a process that requires time and patience, like slowly tidying up a room that has been messy for a while. The benefits of simplifying are definitely worth the effort. People who have simplified their lives often talk about feeling lighter, happier, and more in control. It's like stepping into a wide open space where possibilities are endless. When we simplify, we're creating space for what truly matters in our lives. It's a journey towards a more peaceful, joyful, and healthy life. Simplifying for wellness is an ongoing process. It's not just a one-time cleanup. It's about regularly assessing what's essential and letting go of the unnecessary. As we continue exploring these transformative rules, make sure to stick with us until the end of this video for a full understanding. If you resonate with these insights, don't forget to like and subscribe to our Zenful Living channel. Your engagement supports us in bringing more empowering content to you and keeps you connected with a community focused on personal growth and well-being. Rule 7. Harnessing the subconscious mind. Let's explore an intriguing aspect of our lives: tapping into the power of the subconscious mind. Picture your subconscious as a vast, hidden garden just below the surface. It has a profound impact on everything you do, think, and feel. By nurturing and understanding this garden, we can make transformative changes in our lives. Our subconscious mind is like a strong undercurrent that shapes our experiences and behaviors. It holds beliefs, memories, and instincts that often go unnoticed, but still affect us on a daily basis. It's like an invisible force guiding us along. Recognizing the role of the subconscious in maintaining good health is the first step. It's not solely about our conscious thoughts, but also about the deeper beliefs and emotions we carry with us. These hidden thoughts can surprisingly influence our well-being. There are various powerful techniques to influence the subconscious mind, such as meditation, visualization, and affirmations. These tools allow us to plant positive thoughts in our subconscious, similar to programming a computer with positive codes for smoother functioning. Overcoming subconscious barriers is an important part of this journey, as we often have deep-rooted negative beliefs or old patterns. Changing these can be likened to cleaning out unused files from a computer, resulting in improved performance. Real-life examples of individuals who have tapped into the power of their subconscious minds are truly inspiring. Their stories range from conquering fears to achieving remarkable goals. These experiences are not mere tales, but actual accounts from real people. Engaging the subconscious on a daily basis can be easy yet effective. You can spend a few minutes visualizing each morning or repeat positive affirmations throughout the day. These practices are like watering your subconscious garden, helping good thoughts and habits flourish. Scientific research in psychology and neuroscience has shown us just how powerful the subconscious is. It plays a significant role in our behavior and decision-making, acting as a hidden driver in the car of our mind. Balancing our conscious and subconscious thoughts is crucial. While our conscious mind sets goals and makes decisions, our subconscious can either support or hinder us. It's all about getting both parts of our mind to work together, like a team pulling in the same direction. Community and subconscious beliefs are closely connected. The beliefs we hold are often influenced by the people around us. When we are part of a community that supports positive thinking, we can strengthen these good beliefs in our subconscious mind. Ultimately, becoming aware of our subconscious and taking control of it can be truly life-changing. It's like discovering a hidden superpower within ourselves. Tapping into the power of our subconscious mind opens up new possibilities for our health and happiness. It's a journey of self-discovery where we learn to align our deepest beliefs with our highest goals. So stick with us until the end of this video to fully grasp these transformative principles. If you resonate with these insights, remember to like and subscribe to our Zenful Living channel. Your engagement helps us bring more empowering content to you and keeps you connected with a community focused on personal growth and well-being. Rule 8. Limitations and opportunities in modern medicine. Let's dive into a crucial aspect of our health and well-being: comprehending the boundaries and possibilities in modern medicine. It's similar to having a roadmap for an adventure, understanding where the route is straightforward and where we may have to forge our own path. Modern medicine has accomplished remarkable feats. It's akin to a toolbox brimming with different tools, ranging from medications to surgeries, capable of resolving numerous health issues. However, it's equally important to acknowledge that this toolbox isn't all-encompassing. Occasionally, the solutions we seek aren't found within it. One of the drawbacks of modern medicine is that it often focuses on treating symptoms rather than addressing the underlying cause of a problem. It's similar to patching up a leak in a boat without investigating why it started leaking in the first place. To truly heal, we need to dig deeper and understand the root causes of our health issues. However, there are numerous opportunities in modern medicine, especially when combined with traditional practices. It's like using both old and new maps to find the optimal route. Modern medicine can effectively treat many illnesses, but traditional practices can offer profound healing and overall well-being. Striking a balance between Eastern wisdom and Western medicine is crucial. It's akin to weaving together different threads into a beautiful tapestry that enhances strength and beauty as a whole. By embracing the best aspects of both worlds, we can create a more holistic approach to our health. Being well-informed and having the ability to make our own decisions about our healthcare is crucial. It's like being the captain of our own ship. We may seek advice from others, but ultimately, we have the power to choose our own path. Understanding the advantages and limitations of different treatments allows us to make more informed decisions for our well-being. Preventive health care is also a key aspect. It's like building a strong fence to keep problems at bay rather than just fixing them when they arise. By taking care of both our bodies and minds, we can proactively prevent many health issues before they even begin. Researching and questioning health information is akin to being a detective. We must examine the evidence, ask questions, and not blindly accept everything we're told. This way, we can discover the treatments and practices that truly work best for us. Empowerment in health decisions comes from understanding our options and making choices based on what's best for us, rather than simply following someone else's advice. It's like having a compass that helps us navigate through the vast sea of medical information. Community education on health and wellness is also crucial. It's like sharing our maps and discoveries with others so that everyone can find their way more easily. By learning together, we can all make better decisions for our health. Integrating holistic practices with modern healthcare can be incredibly beneficial. It's like combining the strengths of different healing traditions to create a more comprehensive approach to health and wellness. Understanding the limitations and opportunities in modern medicine is about finding the right balance. It's about utilizing all available tools, both modern and traditional, to find the best path to health and wellness. As we continue on this transformative journey, remember to stick with us until the end of this video for a thorough understanding. Rule 9. Empowerment through self-healing. Let's explore the amazing power of self-healing, a journey that can have a profound impact on our health and happiness. Picture self-healing as becoming your own personal healer, getting to know your body and mind, and using that knowledge to promote wellness. Self-healing begins with believing in our ability to heal ourselves. It's like having faith in our body's natural ability to restore balance and well-being. This belief isn't just wishful thinking. It's based on the idea that our bodies are designed to heal. The path of self-healing involves tuning into the signals our bodies send us and responding with care. It's like developing a unique language with our own bodies, where every ache, pain, or discomfort is a message waiting to be deciphered. The mind-body connection is incredibly important for self-healing. Our thoughts and emotions have a direct impact on our physical health. It's like understanding that our mental and emotional well-being are closely tied to our physical well-being. They are all connected. Practices like mindfulness, meditation, and breathwork are valuable tools in this journey. They allow us to access the body's natural healing abilities, promoting relaxation, reducing stress, and boosting overall vitality. Just as a gentle touch can provide comfort, our thoughts and intentions can also play a role in the healing process. Self-healing is all about making lifestyle choices that support our well-being. It's like taking care of a garden by providing it with good soil, sunlight, and water. This includes being mindful of what we eat, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep. When we align our lifestyle with the natural rhythms of the world around us, it's like creating a beautiful melody that resonates with our body's natural balance. The power of self-healing doesn't mean rejecting medical advice. Instead, it means recognizing that we play an active role in our own well-being. It's like forming a partnership with healthcare providers where we work together towards a common goal: our health. Taking control of our health choices and embracing self-healing is all about empowering ourselves. It's like being in the driver's seat of our own health journey, guiding it towards the direction we desire. However, this doesn't mean we have to go through this journey alone. Seeking advice and support from healthcare professionals, holistic practitioners, and communities with similar mindsets can greatly enhance our self-healing experience. It's like having companions who share their knowledge and stories, making the path ahead less intimidating. Real-life tales of people who have embraced self-healing methods are truly inspiring. They demonstrate that the ability to heal lies within each and every one of us. These stories are more than just anecdotes. They serve as proof of the incredible impact that self-awareness and intentional well-being practices can have. As we explore the world of self-healing further, let's keep in mind that it is an ongoing journey, a constantly evolving process of self-discovery and personal growth. Stick with us as we uncover more life-changing principles that can empower you on your quest for a healthier and happier life. Rule 10. Cultivating gratitude and joy. Now let's dive into the amazing practice of cultivating gratitude and joy. Think of these practices as the sunshine that feeds the garden of our lives, promoting growth, strength, and a deeper sense of satisfaction. Gratitude is like a soft drizzle. When we recognize and value the positive aspects of our lives, we provide vital nourishment for our well-being. It's all about shifting our focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, from obstacles to possibilities. Gratitude isn't just a passing feeling. It's a way of looking at the world, a perspective that allows us to see beauty even in the simplest moments. Studies have revealed that practicing gratitude leads to greater happiness and overall well-being. It's like stumbling upon a treasure chest of joy tucked away in the fabric of our everyday encounters. Gratitude isn't just for big gestures. It can be discovered in the little moments of our lives. The sun's gentle warmth, a friend's laughter, or the delightful scent of freshly brewed tea. When we nurture gratitude, it sets off a chain reaction. The positive vibes we create reach far beyond ourselves, impacting those around us. Joy, however, is a lively manifestation of our inner satisfaction. It's like a beautiful tune that emerges from the harmony within. Nurturing joy means embracing the things that truly make us happy. It's about finding pleasure in the here and now, whether through creative endeavors, meaningful relationships, or simply appreciating the abundance of life. Joy is infectious, spreading rapidly, and lifting not just our own spirits, but also those we come across along our path. Practicing gratitude and joy isn't about ignoring life's challenges. It's about building resilience when things get tough. It's like tending to a garden that can weather storms and still flourish beautifully. Even in difficult times, there's always something to be grateful for or a little joy to discover. These practices become our anchors, keeping us grounded as we navigate the ups and downs of life. Adding gratitude and happiness to our everyday lives takes intentional work. It's like taking care of the garden in our minds, planting positive seeds that will eventually flourish into a beautiful landscape. Writing in a journal, reflecting on our experiences, and showing appreciation to others are effective methods in this nurturing process. When we make these habits a regular part of our day, it's like building up a reserve of strength that supports us when faced with difficulties. As we wrap up this exploration of life-changing rules for a healthier and happier life, keep in mind that these principles aren't strict instructions, but rather adaptable guidelines. They provide valuable insights and tools to empower you on your own personal journey. If you found value in this exploration, remember to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our Zenful Living channel. Your involvement strengthens our collective pursuit of well-being and personal growth. Nurture gratitude and joy in your life, and may your path be illuminated by the radiant light of well-being.